Good morning and welcome to a Tuesday morning Facebook Live. There's nothing like shaking things up a bit in live. So normally, my name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the UK, and normally I come live to you on a Monday morning. Yesterday, Monday morning, was a little bit Monday morning-ish, more Monday morning-ish than normal, and everything was just madness. And I thought, well, I could put it back again. I could. Then I'm going to be late preparing for my class in the afternoon. Let's just go with a Tuesday morning live this week. So here we are on a beautiful sunny Tuesday morning. I've got a lovely day ahead. I'm off for a picnic with my daughter and her husband and my grandson a bit later on. So a nice relaxed let's come on, do some crafting with you, have a nice relaxing start to the day. So let's start where we were going to start yesterday, but you know, I hope you had a good Monday, and let's start with a Tuesday morning crafting. Morning, Valerie. So our product of the week that we're going to be looking at this week is this stamp set called Above the Clouds, which is very obviously balloons. So fabulous, 3 different balloons images there, and some bits you can use to decorate your balloons, bits for round and about to create your scenery, and a fabulous punch that goes with it. And your punch not only punches out, oh there's me, not only punches out your balloon but also punches out a basket and this sort of little banner section just here. So there's some really lovely projects in the catalogue that they've done. They've used this punch for. I was just going to find, so the one at the front of the catalogue is beautiful, and I have cased this for one of our classes. The June classes, I think county classes, we used this particular card. I cased that card and we did a variation on that to go round the classes, which is really beautiful, and perhaps on Thursday I'll try and dig that out for you and then show you that one. So today we're going to case one of these from page 89 of the catalogue, because despite the fact that it's Tuesday, we're still going to case a card from the catalogue, and I thought we'd have a go at this little square one just here. Because there's some fun things that they seem to have done with that one. Because as always with these casing the catalogues, I've got the picture, I've got the list of ingredients that they've used to create that, but I then have to work out from my list of ingredients and the picture what actually it is that they've done. So I don't get it handed to me on a plate, and I may do something differently, you know, from the what the concept artists have done in creating their project. But so it's my take, given the list of ingredients, and sometimes I tweak those as well. Given the list of ingredients and the picture, it's my take on what I think they've done to create that card. So that's the one we're going to do this morning. Hopefully tomorrow I'm going to be getting delivery of my Christmas order, and if that happens I might do an impromptu unboxing video for you just so that you can see what I've ordered. And let me tell you, I haven't ordered everything I want out of the Christmas catalogue. My initial wish list, and that was sort of just going, I like that but not so sure, that's not my first choice. This was just my initial wish list, came to over £1,000, so I have not ordered everything on my wish list. There are some beautiful things in the Christmas catalogue, so we may do an unboxing video, and it may be that you too have a very big wish list, and we can chat about that then, and what you can do about it. So hopefully, as I say, that's due tomorrow. I think my box is due to arrive, so that's exciting. We can look at what Christmassy things I've got. But for today, we're going to float above the clouds. So let us start having a look at this card and how we're going to set about creating it. I have got a piece of A4 Sahara sand card here, and I've managed to blob something pink on the end of it, but we're not going to need that end anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a square card base, and this card base is going to be approximately 4 inches square. It's not going to be 4 inches square, and as I think I've explained before, there's a reason for that. if I cut this cardstock at 9.9 centimetres, because of the length of a piece of A4, I can actually get 3 strips that size out of a piece of A4 card. So if you cut it at 9.9 centimetres, you can get 3 lots of 9.9 centimetres along the length of your cardstock. So a bit of maths tells me that in order to keep it square, I would need to cut it this way at 19.8. And then obviously score it at 9.9. So hopefully you can see from my trimmer, that's how much shorter than 4 inches it is. So it's just, well, a 1/16 of an inch virtually shorter than 4 inches square. But that means that it fits quite nicely into the envelopes, but it does mean that you get the best use out of that piece of A4 cardstock, because if you were batch making these, you'd want to get as many out of that piece of cardstock as you possibly could. Now I am also going to make a bit of a mat to go on the top of here, so let's make that, I think we'll make it, yeah, we'll make it 9.5 just to make it a slightly more even size. To sit on the top there, just giving us a little bit of a border all the way around the edge. Apologies for the shadows and things from my speaker wire. The sun is just in the wrong spot to give us all these shadows and things, and I'm not sure that there's an awful lot I can do to get rid of that really. I can't quite cut the sun out, not quite within my power range. Right, so we have our card base and we have our little square of Sahara sand to go on the top there like that. I have already die cut a stitched circle, so using the stitched shapes, I'm just looking because I thought I'd left them on the side there. Oh, here they are. I knew I'd left them to one side. So using the set of stitched shapes, you've got the circles, you've got the ovals, and you've got the squares. These are so useful. I mean, I'm loving all the different stitch shapes we've got, but these ones are so useful. I've not used the biggest circle, I've actually used the second one down, so it's not this biggest one, next one down I've used, and I've die cut a stitch circle from Whisper White card, and that is going to go on our card base. I'm going to get my seat, sit down, because I need to get a bit closer to these. So what I need to do actually, and where we might start, is we're going to have our piece of Whisper White card sitting on there. I think what we'll do first is we'll stamp the clouds on that piece of Whisper White card so that that is all stamped and we can stick it in place. So in this set of stamps here, we have this little set of 3 wispy clouds. So let's find a block. We could use that one, but I think we're going to use the H block. Sounds like a prisoner series, doesn't it? Prisoner block H. Right, so we've got our H block, and I'm going to use some Pool Party ink. This is still an old style ink pad. And I'm going to randomly stamp a few clouds in the background here. Now what I might do is I'm going to take a piece of paper, and I'm just going to stamp this off before stamping these clouds, just so that it's sort of quite pale in the background. I think I'm just going to leave it at that one set of clouds for now. So we've got a little set of sort of pale wispy clouds floating across the back of our circle. And then I'm going to need that to sort of sit in place. So let us take a Tombow, and we'll stick that in place. And we want it to sort of go slightly off to one side, so it's not quite central. A bit like that. Now the sentiment we're going to use is this little sentiment just here that says, "Hi friend." So let's find that. So it's just a little tiny sentiment. So let's find a little tiny block. And then what we're going to need to do is we're going to take our little sentiment, and this is where photopolymer sentiments and photopolymer stamps come into their own. There's always, there are good reasons why you would want a set of photopolymer stamps. There's good reasons why you'd want the rubber ones. The photopolymer stamps, you are able to curve slightly. So we want this to curve round just a little bit as we put it on our block. So let's give it a bit of a curve. Excuse me while I fiddle with it, getting it at the right sort of angle and getting it to hold down. It's a little too curvy on that end. That's about right, I think. Right, so we want that to hold down. I'm then going to take some crumb cake ink. So we've got Sahara Sand card at the back. I'm going to take some crumb cake ink because it's just slightly darker. And this is the first time this stamp has been stamped, so let's just make sure it's stamping beautifully. Yes. And then we are going to stamp all around the edge of our circle. Obviously you wouldn't be able to do this with a rubber stamp. Now are we going to get another one in there? No, we're not. Excuse me, I'm just trying to... yeah, we might. Yes, we did. It was a bit of a squeeze, but we got a last one in. So obviously if you were doing mass producing those, you'd get better at lining those up as you went along. That was the first time I'd done that, so that's not a bad shot. So we've got Hi Friend going all the way round the edge of our circle just there. Right, now I've got some Petal Pink card and I've got a piece of Grapefruit Grove card, and I've also got some Grapefruit Grove ink. Squeeze, pop, some Petal Pink ink. Oh, that one doesn't want to squeeze there. Gotcha. Squeeze, pop. And we need our balloon stamps. Now the balloon stamp that we're going to use is this one here that has this sort of swirly bit at the top and swirly bit at the bottom. So you can see they're all different. That one's got sort of a scalloped bit at the top and bottom. This one is just sort of like a watercolour wash background on that one. So we are going to actually need that one and that one because we want, although no, we're going to do it on coloured cardstock, so we don't. So if I was using white card, or if I was stamping onto white card and I need a coloured background, that was the one we would use. But I'm actually using coloured cardstock, so we just need to use this balloon here. As you can see, mine has been used with pinky colour inks, so it's a pretty colour, but that's okay. We're going to pop it up on our block just here, and I'm going to do a Petal Pink balloon on some Petal Pink card. And then I've actually got my stamping scrub today, so I'm going to open that up and take my spray and give that a bit of a spritz on that one side. And then we'll give our stamp a good scrub on the wet side and a good scrub on the dry side to clean that up, and then we're going to stamp the Grapefruit Grove version. So let's shut these up for now. And then, sorry, reached over to get the scissors and pulled my microphone off. Right, so then we've got my snips and I've got my punch. So the first thing we're going to do is punch out our balloon. So we'll line that up in the punch just there and punch that out. And this one I wasn't very clever with. I needed to punch that at the bottom of my card and not at the top. But there we are, that's soon solved. Line him up, punch him out. So right now we have two balloons. We have a Grapefruit Grove balloon and we have a Petal Pink balloon. And what we need to do is we're going to mix and match these. So I'm going to take my snips and I'm just going to snip along these lines just here. And obviously you'd take far more time and care if you were doing this. And we're going to snip across the bottom lines just here. To create a mix and match balloon. So let's stick those in place. There's our bit for the top. Actually, I think I'm going to put a bit of glue on there. Be easier than trying to get it on there. And there's our bit for the bottom. So there, voila, instantly we have a mix and match balloon. It's going to go onto our card base. We also need a little basket for our balloon. So somewhere here I've got a little piece of crumb cake card. So let's find our crumb cake ink again. And we'll find the little basket piece. So this is the piece I want. That's actually got the, you've got two stamps in here. You've got a solid stamp that stamps your basket, and then you've got this little one that does like the basket weave detail. So because we're using coloured card, we're just going to use the basket weave detail. And this time, let me think about where my punch is. I think this needs to be at the top corner just here. It actually needed to be at the top corner on the other side because I've got the punch the wrong way round. Let's do this. Actually, I'm going to turn that over and I'm going to stamp the other side just to make life a bit easier for myself. It'll be quicker to stamp that again than it will be to try and line that other stamped image up in this punch. So there we go, we've just got a strip of card with this little basket on the end that we're just going to line up in there and punch out our little basket. And there he is. And he's all ready to go on our card as well. So the final thing we want on our card are some little wispy clouds to go over the top. Now to do those, I'm going to take some Pool Party ink. I'm going to make sure that I've cleaned up my clouds. So some Pool Party cardstock, my clouds. I've got a Versamark and I've got some white embossing powder. So these cloud images aren't a solid colour. They do automatically give you a sort of almost wispy sort of effect. So what I'm hoping is that I'm going to stamp these on here and then add in some white embossing powder. So it should be that some of the blue, I've got my fan on underneath behind me as well. So as we heat that up, it should be that some of the blue will still show through the clouds. Pop my heat gun on, so excuse the noise. And we'll heat those clouds. And actually we're going to cut these clouds out. So I've got a bit of a tickle this morning, don't know why. I have got a glass of water. Let's have a bit of a slurp, see if we can get rid of our tickle. Right, so I'm going to cut round these clouds. And I am almost deliberately leaving a really tiny pool party border. So the nearest I could come to the sort of effect you get with this, it's almost like a thumbprint. So you know, if you get a thumbprint in something, it's not a solid cover, you sort of got the lines and things in it. That's the sort of feel you get with it. So you get sort of little hints of blue showing through underneath the embossing. And we're going to leave a little hint of blue around the edge. And that's not necessarily where I'm sticking them, I'm just laying them down for now. Cutting around. It's not easy to talk and cut at the same time. And there's this last little bit. Okay, so we've got our pool party embossed clouds. So let's put stick some of these into place, and I think we're going to need to call in the help of some trusty dimensionals. Now let's start by putting our balloon on, and we'll put some dimensionals on the back of this. So these are the mini ones I've got here. Come on off. Have that just there, and we'll have one little mini dimensional going on the back of our basket to raise that up as well. And then we'll have our clouds. So this one I'm just using Tombow on the back of this one. So this one I'm going to tuck in behind there. Actually going to turn that one round. I think that's a bit better. Okay, so we'll have that one tucked in behind there. We'll have this little one, so I'm not going to put any more dimensionals on these because I think it will make it too high. We'll have this one floating across the top of the balloon just there, and this one floating across the balloon just here. So our balloon now looks as if he's floating in amongst the clouds. There he is. And the last little thing we've got on our card that we're casing is a few little sequins. Now, we had a bit of a disaster with my iridescent sequins the other day. Most of them ended up on top of the dog, but that's fine. I think we have enough of these little blue ones just to put in a few little sequins. So let's have one here, and we'll put a little one in over there. So let's put that big one just there. And did I get you? Yes, I did. We'll have you coming in over here, and then this little medium size one. So obviously these iridescent ones, this is sort of quite a pool party colour. There we go, look at that. It's amazing. Sequins do seem to go on forever, don't they? Just when you think you've nearly run out, you can still manage to squeeze a few more out of it. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to add this little card front to our card base. And I think again we'll put it on flat just because, well, it's postage as much as anything. You'll perhaps get away with the postage if you've just got one set of dimensionals. If you start to put double the height on, you definitely won't get away with it. And we put that on there, and just even though it's tone on tone, you do get that sort of natural shadow around the edge, so that pops out. So there we go. I know, Div. Although you know he likes a bit of glitter and glam. I'm sure he wasn't too upset. And besides which, his favourite thing is to be sitting at people's feet as they're crafting. So if, you know, as an offshoot of that, you get sequins all over your fur, then that's something he'll just live with. He'd much rather still be sitting at the feet of the ladies that are crafting. Right, so there we are. We have our little balloon floating through the clouds. These little sequiny sparkles, and our little high friend that goes all the way around the edge. Obviously, we'd have tried to even that out a little bit more, but that's not bad for a sort of, you know, 8 o'clock on a Tuesday morning off the top of your out of the gate stamping. But it just goes to show that you can say curve, so you can always curve your photopolymer stamp. So that's just a nice little reminder of that as a technique. So thank you for joining me on this Tuesday morning. I hope I haven't confused your week too much, but it's been lovely to see you. I've got a class at Morsley this evening, so if anybody is around and wants to join us at Morsley, you would be very welcome. It'd be lovely to see you. As I say, and I've got a picnic before that, so that's going to be really lovely as well. So I hope the weather stays beautiful for us. And I will be back as usual on Thursday, and we'll be playing, well, I may be back tomorrow with my Christmas box, who knows, but I'll definitely be back on Thursday to do a bit more creating with this beautiful Above the Clouds stamp set and punch bundle, which is just so useful. And I'll also bring in on Thursday and show you how you can use this punch to create really big petals. Because, you know, you don't have to just think of your punches and your tools as how they were, you know, they come wrapped up. If you can create different things out of them, then all the better. About a vase or a bottle, or yeah, all sorts of things. So yes, we'll be looking at that. We'll have a talk about that on Thursday as well. But enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all later in the week.